Hello there and welcome to Dreamy Minds. Somewhere over the quiet hush of midnight hills and rooftops whispering under moonlight, a single falling star brushes across the fabric of the sky. It does not rush, it does not roar, it simply travels, glowing quietly like an ancient memory. Soft, brave and fleeting. Tonight, if your thoughts feel heavy or your heart a little too full, let the stars hold you. Let this cosmic stillness soothe the worn tides of your day. Let's close our eyes together and drift not only toward sleep, but toward wonder. We'll listen to the sky. Because it turns out, falling stars are more than just beauty. They're a story of physics, fire, and fading fragments from eons ago. Little messengers from beyond the veil. And in studying them, softly, gently, we learn something profound not only about the stars, but about our own minds, how they calm, how they wonder, how they dream. Tonight, we explore this with open hands. Not as scientists in a lab, but as wanderers lying in fields beneath the cosmos, feeling small, feeling safe, letting the stars teach us the science of awe, of rest, of letting go. So breathe slow. This is not a podcast, not a lesson. This is a lullaby of light and time. You can rest now. Let your thoughts flow like celestial rivers. We'll meet them with quiet understanding, and somewhere in between stardust and sleep, you might just remember how beautifully human it is to pause, to wonder, to dream. There is something tender about the nighttime sky. It arrives like a pause, stretching out over the world in deep silken hues, navy and violet and shadows of ink, unfolding beneath the hush of twilight. And high above, away from the tangled thoughts and flickering lights of the world below, the stars begin to blink their ancient lullabies. But every so often, something more rare and quietly thrilling happens. A bright flicker, a streak of light, too fast to speak, too beautiful to chase. A star that falls suddenly, like a match catching fire in midair, and going out just as quickly. A shooting star. Softly, you may wonder, what was that? What made it fall? And why, in that fleeting second of golden swiftness, did your body feel still? That moment, as small as it was, had weight, a mysterious comfort, a calming hush. Tonight, let's stay with that feeling. Let it open like a flower beneath starlight. Let's wander slowly into the science of such serenity. It may surprise you that what we call a shooting star isn't really a star at all. It's not some sun collapsing into glory, not a heaven-sent message, not a wish on wings. It is, in the simplest terms, a tiny piece of space dust. Yes, tiny. Sometimes no bigger than a grain of rice, sometimes no heavier than a whisper. These minute fragments come from comets, those icy wanderers that orbit our sun like silent, shimmering ghosts, or from rocky asteroids floating slowly between planets like cosmic orphans. Over time, these travelers leave behind trails, bits and pieces of themselves, shed like old skin or scattered dreams. And Earth, dear Earth, is constantly moving through these unseen rivers of space debris. Every year, like clockwork, our planet drifts through trails left long ago, and the dust, forgotten by time, cold and ancient, enters our atmosphere. This is where the miracle begins. As the tiny specks rush into Earth's air, they meet resistance. They collide with particles, with gases, with molecules stirring in our sky like unseen breaths. Friction builds, speed ignites, and just like that, the cold becomes fire. The sleep of space becomes light. What we see, from down here, looking up as dreamers always have, is the flare of that transformation, that beautiful fiery vanishing. It's called a meteor, a brilliant moment of combustion, a celestial spark, burning bright at more than 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and gone before you can whisper look, and still it leaves a mark, not on the sky, but on us, something deep and reflective, a hush of awe that lingers longer than the light. Why? Maybe it begins with the reminder that even the smallest, most forgotten things can shine. The science is quiet here. It doesn't shout. It doesn't call for applause. It tells us calmly that when the cosmic littlest meets the right conditions, it turns to brilliance. Fragments of long-dead comets, dust that drifted unnamed for eons, brought to life through friction and fall. There's something about that story that comforts the softest places in us, the parts that wonder if we, too, are too small, or too late, or moving too slowly through a vast and silent world. And yet, the science says, you only need one moment, one crossing, one spark to light the dark. There is also something breathtaking about the impermanence of it all. Why do fleeting things, sunsets, candle flames, first snowfalls, shooting stars, move us so deeply? The brain has a rhythm. It searches not just for meaning, but for movement. It's drawn magnetically to what changes, to what appears suddenly and leaves us with only the echo of its beauty. In the limbic system, which governs emotion, awe is nestled like a sleeping cat. It purrs quietly in the presence of vastness, especially when that vastness is gentle. Awe, you see, is an emotional balm. It bathes the nervous system in stillness. When you witness something grand, but are safe within it, the parasympathetic nervous system begins to hum. That's the part of you designed to relax, rest, digest, release. It lowers your heart rate, softens your breath, and tells your body, you are okay here. You may let go. So it is with falling stars. Not only are they beautiful, they are harmless, distant, delicate. They happen far above your world, and their grace asks nothing of you. You don't need to fix them. You don't need to hold them. You need only to witness. And in that witnessing, the body, so often rigid with worry, melts. The sky becomes a lullaby. And though the star is already gone, its afterlight rests quietly inside your chest. Psychologists have observed what's called the overview effect in astronauts. Upon seeing Earth from the vastness of space, many feel a profound shift, a washing away of pettiness, a quieting of worries, a new sense of connection and scale. On the ground, beneath a shooting star, you may experience your own tiny version of this effect. Something so fast, so far, makes your mind stretch, upward, outward, inward. It's a kind of ego dissolve, a reminder that you are part of something far larger, not in a way that erases you, but in a way that cradles you. Even knowing the science, even holding the facts, you still feel the magic. And perhaps that's the most beautiful part, because magic is not the absence of knowledge. It is the marriage of knowledge and awe. It is what happens when truth invites wonder to lie beside it, and they watch the stars fall together. Rest now in this thought, that a meteor's blaze, born from friction, from fall, from ancient forgotten dust, becomes something sacred in the human eye. Your very brain is designed to honor these ephemeral moments. The visual cortex responds, lighting up at contrast and motion. The hippocampus, which catalogues memories, pays attention, because fleeting things register as significant. Even if the shooting star is too quick to photograph, your brain keeps a whisper of it, tucked inside, not for survival, but for beauty. So tonight, somewhere in the sky, another ember of space may be drawing near, microns wide, silent, unseen, until it touches air and becomes something golden. You may never see it. You may be asleep by then. But the sky knows its dance. The earth still turns through that ancient trail, and the stars still fall, whether we watch them or not. So let yourself drift with that same surrender. You are part of a planet that floats through rivers of celestial light, and each night there is a chance to witness the beauty of something breaking briefly into flame, not as tragedy, but as transformation. Sleep. Now, let the idea of meteors soften the corners of your mind. Little fragments you don't need to hold on to. Sparks of unfinished stories, now flickering into peace. You are allowed, like the stars, to fall, not to fail, but to shine, softly, gently, and then to rest. Somewhere inside you, there is a quiet room, a place that exists beneath all the rushing, all the sorting, beneath the to-do lists and unfinished thoughts. This place is older than your worries. It listens not to urgency, but to light. You've likely felt it before. In the hush after snowfall, or at the edge of the sea when everything turns gold and silent. That gentle widening of your awareness. The breath you didn't know you were holding, slowly, finally released. That space inside you stirs again when you gazed up and saw, without warning, without control, a shooting star sail across the sky, brief and bright, as if the universe sighed with its eyes open. This is what awe does, and tonight we'll drift with it, not to define it, but to feel it, to follow the quiet ripples it sends across your mind, your breath, your body. Let's begin slowly, gently, with the brain. At rest, when you're not focused on anything in particular, your mind switches into something called the default mode network, a constellation of brain regions that light up when you daydream, reflect, or imagine. Somewhere in that fertile field, your sense of self lives. The story you tell yourself about who you are, what matters, what might happen next. But this inner dialogue can sometimes become loud, especially when stress sharpens it into worry. It spins, loops, repeats. Now imagine this. You walk outside one evening, your thoughts heavy and busy. And then, a light arcs across the sky, a shooting star, golden, swift, unexpected, maybe only for 2 seconds, maybe less. But in that moment, it's like the volume of your mind turns down. You don't think, you watch. You don't narrate, you feel. Just wonder, just presence, just quiet. Neuroscience suggests that when we experience awe, especially in response to vastness, something both enormous and safe, the default mode network decreases in activity. The me story softens. The parts of the brain wrapped up in self-criticism or puzzling out the future go still. Instead, your awareness opens outward. Your sense of time slows. Your nervous system loosens its grip. One researcher described awe as the neural reset button, not erasing who we are, but reminding us that we are part of something wider, that we don't have to hold so tightly, that we can fall gently into perspective. The sky is full of perspective. Looking up at it, we are not asked to solve anything. We are not measured, judged, evaluated. We're simply witnessing something beyond ourselves. And in doing so, strangely, we feel more complete. Awe is a paradox like that. It is humbling, but not humiliating. It makes us feel small, but not insignificant. It takes the pressure off our shoulders and reminds us we belong to a larger stillness. Now let's drift deeper. When your brain encounters wonder, like the flash of a meteor across the dark cathedral of sky, it dips into its ancient chemical palette. One of the first paints it uses is serotonin, the neurotransmitter of mood and ease. Awe can increase serotonin levels, especially when accompanied by stillness and novelty. It doesn't jolt the brain with excitement, like dopamine might. Instead, it smooths you out, softens internal tension. It's the difference between fireworks and a sunrise. This might be why awe is often followed by a long, slow exhale. The body releases what it was bracing for. It realizes all at once that it is safe enough to expand. Alongside serotonin, you might feel the touch of oxytocin, sometimes called the connection hormone, usually stirred by intimacy, closeness, nurturing. Oxytocin also appears in moments when you feel in bonded reverence with something bigger than you, a mountain, a field of stars, a meteor shower. Though there's no human beside you, something inside you feels held. This is the shape awe takes in the nervous system. It is not activation or escape, but expansion, a good kind of overwhelm, like stepping into a cathedral, silent and enormous. You whisper not because someone tells you to, but because it feels right. So why do we fall so in love with the falling of a star? Why does something that lasts only a moment create a calm that lingers through the body and brain? You see, the mind is a collector of meaning, but it is also a lover of rhythm. And the cosmos, in all its bigness, moves in rhythm. Our Earth turns through trails of comet-dusted memory, year after year, invisible paths, until the meteor breaks through like a golden heartbeat. In the same way, your body knows the tempo of breath and the rise-fall of emotion. Your mind recognizes the rightness of cosmic timing. It answers back, yes, that is beautiful. Yes, I know that feeling, even if it never had words for it. Many researchers have said that awe prompts something called cognitive accommodation, a fancy word for what happens when your existing framework of the world isn't quite enough to explain what you've just experienced. So your mind, much like the sky, expands. It stretches. It makes room. And in that act of stretching, there is healing. You are no longer constricted by your thoughts, but liberated by your not knowing. This, too, helps sleep. Because sleep comes easiest when the grip softens, when you no longer feel wired to fix the day, but instead feel woven into it. Do you remember when you were a child, laying on your back, looking up? Maybe it was grass beneath you, or a beach towel beneath the stars, and you waited for one thing, just one trail of wonder to cross the sky. You didn't need to understand spectral velocity or atmospheric entry. You just knew it was special, and that if you saw it just once, you could make a wish. However improbable, the wish made the moment matter. And even now, your brain remembers that feeling. Because awe is not just emotion, it is memory, it is embodied poetry, as if your nervous system still whispers from all those years ago. Look up. Wait. Believe for a moment. There's research suggesting that awe can alter time perception. People report feeling like time has slowed, or that they forgot time entirely. This may sound small, but for an anxious mind, it is enormously healing. Anxiety loves to live in the future. It spins and plans and simulates. But awe, in the purest sense, pulls you back into the present, the only moment that's ever truly real. When a meteor falls, your awareness falls with it into now, like the mind sighing into gravity, like the body remembering it doesn't have to carry the whole sky alone. Tonight, you don't have to chase awe. You don't even have to see it with your eyes, because it leaves fingerprints on the soul. It tempers the nervous system like warm bath water. It's the first inhale after crying, the wide-eyed silence after something beautiful. You are allowed to feel that, even now, even in your room, even in your bed, even if no meteor trail dances across your ceiling. Awe is not just in the sky. It lives in you. Close your eyes now, if they're not already closed. Imagine the night above you like an ocean of ink and silver. A shooting star appears, just for a moment, not loud, not demanding, just enough to quiet your thoughts, just enough to remind your heart how to slow down. Tonight, the science is simple. Your nervous system softens in the presence of wonder. The world was never asking you to have all the answers, only to notice, to breathe, to feel, to let go. Somewhere, even now, another star prepares to fall. It doesn't know you're watching. It falls anyway, because that's what stars do. They offer beauty, with no expectation. And we, so lucky to be made of the same dust, are allowed to do the same. You are made for soft awe. You are made to feel and fall and not rush away from stillness. Sleep can come now, not as an escape, but as a return to peace, to presence, to the cosmic rhythm of awe. Meeting your breath, your heartbeat, your beautiful, tired mind. Some nights, when the world feels too loud and the inside of your mind feels like a weather system you can't quite predict, the sky appears, not above you, but around you. It doesn't need words. It doesn't rush to fix anything. It wraps itself over the moment, spreading wide like velvet with stars stitched across its silence. And suddenly, the pace of things slows. The thoughts that were tumbling now drift. The to-do lists and what-ifs lose their shape. You feel held, even if you don't know why. This is the grace of the cosmos. And tonight, we'll lie under it, together. Let it press softly on your shoulders, like a weighted blanket carved from galaxies. Let it pull you gently toward peace. Distant, eternal, impossibly vast, and strangely calming. There's something paradoxical about space, isn't there? Something so enormous, so endless and cold and ancient. Should, by all logical thinking, feel overwhelming, frightening, isolating. But for many people, as they lie awake, looking up at the stars, listening to the hush between moonlight and thought, the mood instead becomes quiet, safe, small in a comforting way. Why? Because distance softens the ego. Vastness doesn't crush us. It teaches us to loosen our grip. In psychology, there's a gentle concept called perspective broadening. It refers to the mind's ability to step back, to zoom out and reframe the stories it tells itself. You've probably felt this during heartbreak or stress, when someone you trust says, "Look at the big picture." That moment, when your sorrow feels just a little less heavy. Because you remember, you are not the center of the storm. That is perspective broadening at work. And the cosmos? It is perhaps the oldest and deepest perspective there is. When you gaze into the star-filled dark, your mind, often coiled so tightly around survival, begins to unspool, because up there, 14 billion years of time stretch quietly above you, and for a breath or two, maybe more, you remember, you are part of something that has weathered supernovas, and watched stars bloom like flowers, only to vanish again. And somehow, your worries, your emails, your missed calls, your regrets, feel a bit smaller, not because they don't matter, but because they don't define you. The brain is wired for scale. It constantly measures threats. How big is this problem? How near is this danger? How urgent is this task? But awe, especially awe rooted in vastness, interferes with that system. It whispers to your inner alarms, slow down. The danger is not here, because there is no predator in the stars, no deadline in the distant swirl of Orion's belt, no expectation shining in the light of galaxies millions of light years away. When we look at the stars, even on a subconscious level, our survival systems begin to downshift. We move gently from sympathetic arousal, the state where we're braced and ready for action, to parasympathetic rest, where healing begins. Your heart rate may slow, your breathing deepens, your pupils relax. The sky is not attacking, it is simply being. And your brain, so used to scanning for danger, adjusts to the unthreatening rhythm of the infinite. Have you ever sunk into a warm bath or beneath a heavy comforter on a winter night and thought, this is exactly what I needed? That's how the night sky soothes the nervous system. It's not doing anything really, and that's exactly the point. In a culture so constantly driven by productivity and urgency, cosmic silence becomes radical. It gives you permission to stop, to lie still, to feel insignificant in the gentlest, most freeing way. You are no longer the center of every story. You're a soft note in a larger symphony, a ripple in an ocean, one pulse in the beating heart of space-time. This release from self-focus does something quite therapeutic. Researchers say experiences of vastness can decrease rumination, the endless spinning of worry threads in the mind. Like clearing fog from a mirror, this soft reframing allows access to clarity, to humility without shame, and to peace that flows downstream from understanding. Not everything needs your intervention. Not everything is yours to solve. When you remember that, your breath finds its rhythm again. Now imagine, if you will, layers of stillness pressing over you, not heavy in a suffocating way, but in a grounding way, the kind that says, you don't have to float away tonight, you don't have to fix the sky, you are allowed to rest. Gravity will hold you, the stars will keep their watch. This kind of stillness trains the nervous system to associate silence with safety. And that's important, because for many, silence has not always felt safe. Sometimes stillness is where the hard thoughts creep in, where tension wakes up instead of easing down. But the night sky? It reframes silence as a sanctuary, not a void. The same way music needs pauses between the notes, and a painting breathes between each stroke, your mind lives best when it isn't filled to the edges. Perspective isn't just about facts, it's about space. When astronauts return from space, many report a phenomenon called the overview effect. Looking back at Earth, small, fragile, floating, they are moved to tears. They see no lines, no borders, only oneness, only the interconnected blue of everything we've ever loved, built, or been. Many describe an emotional shift, a permanent change in perspective. Suddenly, life is simpler, less urgent, less me-focused, and yet more meaningful. Though we cannot depart on a shuttle, the night sky offers us a glimpse of that feeling. A deep inhale of context, a reminder that we are temporary, but we are not without meaning. So, how does this help with sleep? You might think, isn't vastness stimulating? Doesn't it make us think more? And yes, in certain forms, it can. But when we approach it gently, with curiosity instead of questions, with reverence instead of confusion, it does something different. It slows brainwave activity, encouraging a soft shift from beta waves associated with problem solving to alpha waves linked to relaxation, and even toward theta waves, the rhythm of dreams, the same brainwaves found in meditation, in twilight thoughts, and the gentle curl of the mind preparing for sleep. Perspective then becomes a neural lullaby, telling the brain, You are safe. All that matters is right here. Your body, at rest, may seem still, but your nervous system listens to imagery, context, and memory. So even now, even if you can't go outside, even if light pollution hides every star, you can picture, softly, the dome of deep indigo sky above you. You can remember how it feels to be witnessed by silence that asks nothing, that is enough. And your brain, so clever, will use that image as a cue for letting go, for breath, for rest. Let us close the eyes now and let the cosmos fold over us like a weighted blanket of perspective. Let it remind us, you are not late, you are not wrong, you are not behind, you are in orbit, soft and slow, right where you need to be. There is time for everything, and right now, there is time for sleep. The sky, in all its grandeur, has cradled civilizations, poets, scientists, philosophers, children and elders alike. It has watched over every fear and joy we've ever felt. It has seen storm and stillness, and not once, has it asked us to hurry. So tonight, it wraps around you, offering neither answers nor demands, just presence, just peace, just the gentle hum of a truth too old to rush, that letting go isn't the same as giving up, that awe will carry you home. There is a certain kind of beauty that doesn't need to stay, that arrives without promise, without permanence, and yet leaves the deepest imprint, like the first snowfall, or a child's laughter down the hallway, or a meteor slipping across the skin of the sky, burning, beautiful, and gone. And somehow it is because it is brief, because you can't hold on to it, that it matters more. So tonight, we will sit quietly inside that feeling. We'll explore the deep, soft space where memory, psychology, and starlight touch one another tenderly and with open hands. This is the mind beneath meteors. Have you ever noticed how your breath changes the moment you see something unexpected and beautiful? A sudden flare of light streaking across the nighttime sky. Just for a second. Not enough time to think, just enough time to feel. A meteor doesn't announce itself. It doesn't wait until you're ready. It simply moves. Its short life falling in brightness. And yet your whole system, your nervous system, your lungs, your heartbeat, your memory, responds to that moment as if it's sacred. Because psychology and neurobiology agree, the brain loves what ends. It sounds backward at first, doesn't it? Shouldn't the things that last provide the most comfort? But the truth is, the human mind holds a special tenderness for things it knows it cannot keep. That is the spiritual gravity of transient beauty, the fleeting, the ephemeral, the fading flare. We are drawn to things that pass, not despite their brevity, but because of it. This phenomenon lives deep in the folds of psychology. Sometimes it's called the impermanence effect, or temporal scarcity, or the beauty of the brief. And you've likely felt it many times before. The last day of summer, the last chapter of a book, the final golden edge of a sunset, or the quiet awareness of a shooting star, just before it disappears. These endings soften us. They open the doors of attention, and the mind enters fully, savoring what will not return. When a meteor moves across the night's backdrop, something instant and electric happens in the mind. Your anticipation is rewarded, but it leaves space for your imagination too. The brain, bathed in the neurochemistry of the moment, does something remarkable. It surrenders. It remembers. It longs. It lets go. To understand this, let's drift quietly into the language of brainwaves and neurotransmitters. Right now, as you listen, your brain is moving through electrical states. In waking hours of focused thinking and speaking, we live mostly in beta waves, quick, sharp patterns that cut through tasks and problem solving. But as you relax, and especially as you drift into sleep or enter reflective states, your brain slows down into alpha waves and then into theta waves. Those dreamy, slower theta pulses are the rhythm of twilight thoughts, memory floods, intuition, and creativity. They create a bridge toward the subconscious, and in that bridge, emotion finds its way into memory. These brainwaves are strongly linked to visualization, empathy, and the processing of touch points that are fleeting, like art, like dreams, like a meteor's silent blaze. Your brain, in a nighttime state or near sleep, is made to receive transient moments softly and deeply. They are not shouted into memory, they're whispered into it. This softness spreads through your brain's chemical terrain as well. In moments of anticipation, even just a lovelorn glance at the sky, your brain may release small pulses of dopamine. We often associate dopamine with pleasure, but its true power lies in anticipation, the stretching toward joy, the possible, the maybe. Watching for a shooting star can mirror that process. Even if you don't see one right away, your body basks in the maybe. And when one suddenly appears, burning across the vast, dopamine briefly spikes in a reward loop that says, yes, something beautiful can happen here. Even better, you didn't earn it. You didn't expect it. The sky simply gave it. In moments like that, you're not doing. You are only witnessing, receiving. And this is where the parasympathetic nervous system opens, quietly like a flower beneath moonlight. It doesn't race or brace. It says, you're safe now. You may soften. Even the amygdala, the part of the brain wired to anticipate threats, can pause in wonder. It pauses because there is no danger in a meteor, only light, only story. And that's important because most of the time the brain is actively scanning the future. It wants to understand what's coming. It lives in the next moment, often at the expense of the present one. But a falling star arrests that forward lean. It invites you back into the now. You can't follow a meteor into tomorrow. You can only meet it where it is. A flicker, a flare, then gone. But something in your chest remains. It's why people make wishes, why we hold our breath, why we remember a 2-second streak. For 10, 20, 30 years, our minds soak meaning into things that pass, and in doing so, they soothe us. There's another layer here. Beneath the brain's chemistry, beneath even memory and awe, it's the meaning we assign to things that don't last. A shooting star is the sky's gentle way of telling us something deeply human and deeply healing. Just because it fades doesn't mean it failed. We live in a culture obsessed with permanence. Keep the job, keep the look, keep the happiness, keep the relationships long, the bodies frozen in time, the structures unmoved. But the sky does not promise that. The sky says, this will glow, then it will soften, it will pass. And still, it matters. Meteor showers, especially when seen in the stillness of night, are rituals of presence and of grief. They help us rehearse something we cannot avoid, that everything, everyone, eventually, must pass. But meteor showers make that impermanence tender. They are not harsh. They don't tear. They flare, softly, and dim into memory, leaving no smoke, only silence, only the imprint of wonder. And this too is part of emotional health. To see things come and go, and to know you're allowed to feel that, to let joy arrive even when it doesn't stay. That acceptance is not numbness, it's growth. It's the peaceful gravity of truth. So tonight, as your body releases into stillness, as your mind flutters close to sleep, let the meteors pass across your imagination. Visualize one streak of light, curling against a violet background, a golden line in the dark. It falls slowly enough to notice, but not long enough to keep. And that, truly, is enough. The mind beneath meteors is not a mind in motion. It is a witnessing mind, a resting mind, a mind that takes the evanescent and makes it eternal in feeling without needing it to remain in form. You can let things go and still carry what they meant. A falling star tells the brain, this moment matters even if it ends. And sometimes sleep is just that, a falling. A flare across consciousness, a letting go that doesn't erase, but transforms. Just like the meteor, just like the soul, just like you. Sleep now. Let your brain drift gently into waves of theta. Let your heartbeat follow their lead. Close your inner sky. Let those golden arcs dissolve behind your eyelids, like warm memory. You were never meant to hold them forever. You were only meant to feel them, to witness awe and to rest inside its light. There is a kind of sleep that doesn't arrive all at once. It doesn't come barging in, not loudly, not suddenly. It comes like distant light. It waits on the edge of your awareness, soft as a breeze through a curtain, gathering itself gently, like the way stars appear when evening falls, not all at once, but in waves. One, then another, then a quilt of glimmers, sprinkled across midnight ceiling. Sleep, too, is like that. Quiet, graceful, arriving when the conditions are right. Not forced, found. And maybe that's why stars and sleep have always felt so close. Tonight, we wander into that in-between place, the bridge between stargazing and slumber, where the stars above become lullabies within, where the sky is more than something we look at, but something that lovingly looks back. Welcome to this gentle section of stardust and surrender. This is Stars as Seeds of Sleep. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already. Let the words fall like petals. Let them rest on the soil of your breath. Have you ever noticed how your body slows the longer you stare at the sky? Perhaps it's the vastness, the space, the invitation to gaze without needing to solve. There is no threat hiding behind a star, no decision in a crescent moon, only patience, only perspective. The brain notices this, and so does the body. In fact, your sleep-wake cycle, your circadian rhythm, is deeply connected to light and darkness, especially the kind of gentle, natural low light that the stars bring. When stargazing begins, whether that means lying under the open night sky, or simply imagining one inside your mind, you move naturally into a biological setting that encourages rest. Let's begin inside the eye. Because even with your eyes closed, the memory of light, the image of stars, can send signals across your internal pathways. Your retina, that delicate web behind your eye, holds cells specifically designed to respond, not just to brightness, but to tone. These cells are called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. They form the communication line that links your eyes to your brain's sleep center. Throughout the day, those ganglion cells respond to sunlight, keeping you alert, awake, active. But as evening falls, as the color shifts from golden to blue to black, those sensors begin to calm. They close the gates to stimulation and open the door to rest readiness. And that's when the chemistry begins to change. As natural light fades, a chemical called melatonin begins to flow into the bloodstream. Melatonin is your brain's way of saying, "It's okay now. We can let go." It prepares the nervous system for quiet, lowers the internal thermostat, signals your heart to slow, and melatonin listens most attentively to the language of soft darkness, not total blackness, but moonlight, starshine, candles, gentleness, the kind of light the sky gives us when it wants us to stop doing and begin simply being, like the hush before a song, like the pause in a breath. So to watch stars, even just in your imagination, is not a meaningless comfort. It's a biological cue, one that speaks fluently to the nervous system, to the adrenal glands, to the parts of you that stay alert too long, because they've forgotten what peace feels like. When you trace constellations with your mind, when you picture a dark velvet sky and its glowing embers, you are telling your body, it's nighttime. We may soften. We may rest. And rest is more than just the absence of movement. True rest is presence. It's safety returning to the body. After a long day of scanning, it's the nervous system whispering, there's nothing you have to do now. No one you need to please. No danger around the corner. And what proves that safety better than a sky full of ancient, unmoving light? In therapeutic settings, mental imagery, especially imagery related to stars and natural nightscapes, has been shown to calm the amygdala. The amygdala, as you may know, is your brain's emotional alarm system. It keeps you vigilant, wary, responsive. But it's also teachable. It's willing to be soothed if you give it the right signals. And the image of a star, especially one imagined slowly, patiently, in rhythmic succession, is like singing a lullaby directly into your brain's fear center. It says, you are not in danger. This light is far, but faithful. Let it guard the night. Let it hold the sky. You can rest now. It does not need you to stay awake. So let's plant some stars now. Let's plant them in your mind like seeds of sleep. You don't need to force anything. You're not trying to sleep. You're simply resting in the garden of your imagination. Picture it. You lie on soft grass or a warm stone or tucked beneath cotton sheets. The air is cool but gentle, safe. Above you the sky unfolds, not crowded with noise, not brilliant, just simple, steady, deep. One star appears, then another, and another, and another still, not quickly, like a heartbeat, like a slow spreading yawn of light. Each star that arrives is a breath entering your chest, and each one that simply stays becomes an anchor of safety. Nothing fast, nothing sharp, just light hanging in place, like a friend keeping watch, while your eyes close. Clinical meditation studies show that consistent visual imagery, especially when combined with slow breath, can enhance parasympathetic activation, our body's natural relaxation response. One therapist called it building a sky inside the self. Another referred to it as a sanctuary in the stars, because that's what stars do, especially when they are invited in. They build stillness, a soft space, for neurons to settle, for memories to sort themselves like feathers in the wind, for the soul to rest. And what of dreams? Dreaming is the mind's language of the infinite. And stars, in a way, are the oldest dreams known to humankind. Every myth, every map, every ancient story began in some sense with a gaze upward. Through the retelling of these patterns, Orion, Cassiopeia, the archer, the swan, humans gave the unknown a name. And naming gave peace. So even imagining star patterns now draws you into a lineage of sleepy, slow storytellers, stretching back through millennia. You are not dreaming alone. You are part of the great myth of night. Let yourself drift now. Let tonight's sleep be not a shutting down, but a turning towards stars. You don't need to see them. Just imagine them. Soft orbs, glowing like breath held in stillness. Imagine a single one, like a lantern floating far away, warm white, watching your body slow. Imagine its light spiraling downward, through your forehead, your eyebrows, your cheeks, down your throat, down your chest, into your belly, slowing you, soothing you, settling you like dusk settling over the earth. This is the biology of sleep. This is the magic of peace. So tonight, if the brain begins again to rush, bring it here, not to the news, not to the clock, not to thought, just here. A field of stars, collecting above you, each one a seed of stillness, each one a whisper, you are safe, you are safe, you are safe. Let your breath follow their lead. Let your pulse slow to match their rhythm. Let your soul return not in urgency, but in ease. Let your body remember what it once knew. That sleep is not something to chase. Sleep is something to trust. It begins when you feel held. It deepens when you see light. Not bright, but ancient, steady, and soft. Tonight, let sleep find you, the way a star finds the sky, not with force, but with presence, with patience, with gravity that feels like love. You are already beneath the stars, and they, whether near or imagined, are already beneath your skin. So rest, dear one, the seeds are planted. Let sleep now begin. There are moments that live, not in time, but in meaning. Moments that pass quickly, almost too quickly, but still leave their fingerprint on the soul, like the hush just before a snowfall, or the feeling of opening an old letter, or the blink of a shooting star across a summer sky. Just a second, but something about that second feels eternal. Why? Because the mind doesn't just record events, it translates them. It takes light and makes memory, takes motion and makes metaphor, takes something distant and ungraspable and wraps it gently in meaning. So tonight, let's drift slowly into that space where comets cross not just the sky, but the inner theater of the self. Let's explore how a mind, made of neurons, patterns, and possibility, can look up and see not just stars, but messages. Let's explore how memory, imagination, and meaning all share the same spark. This is Comets of Memory and Imagination. The brain is a storyteller. Not only does it want to understand the world, it wants to relate to it, to feel, even in the face of mystery, that something out there is reflecting something in here. That's what we do constantly. We reflect, we project, we assign meaning to the things that move us, even if they don't intend to move us at all. This is not a mistake in thinking. It's not irrational. It's not weak. It's human, and it's healing. When a shooting star passes briefly across the sky, your logical brain might clock it as what it is, a high-velocity fragment of cometary debris, burning up on contact with our atmosphere. But your emotional brain, your symbolic brain, registers something else, a flare, a whisper, a hope you hadn't said aloud. People wish on shooting stars not because they believe in magic, but because they believe in meaning, meaning that arrives quickly and cannot be caught, only noticed, only felt, like memory, like grief, like love. So why do we project meaning onto stars? Why do they feel important, even without warmth? Even from unimaginable distances away, they feel intimate. The answer lies within, the beautiful overlap of memory and imagination, two seemingly different forces. But inside the human mind, they often run along the same winding tracks. Neurologically speaking, there is significant overlap between the pathways used for remembering the past and the ones we use for imagining the future. It's called the default mode network. And it's the same network that lights up. Whether you're remembering a heartbreak from 10 years ago, or picturing a dream you've not yet had. So memory and imagination don't divide neatly. Instead, they inform each other. They stir together inside the same cup. It is no wonder, then, that the mind can look to the stars and see not just the sky, but stories. Skies filled with things we haven't said, with people we miss, with versions of ourselves we dream of becoming. The stars become mirrors, not of reflection, but of remembrance. You might look up and recall, suddenly, a night from years past, a hand you held, a secret you whispered, a version of yourself that believed anything was possible, because you saw a star fall, and made a wish that you never quite let go of. Even now, the brain is capable of shaping that memory with new light, not erasing it, but remaking it through the gentle lens of time. That's one of the most mysterious and beautiful features of the emotional brain. It stores meaning poetically, not just clinically, not just as data, but as dream fragments, symbols, sensations, the way a breeze felt during grief, the smell of rain during childhood, the glimpse of a meteor during recovery, or loss, or beginning again. This is why a shooting star can serve as a kind of prayer, not in the religious sense, but in the sense of internal offering, of opening for a moment, of saying, I still have hope even if I don't speak it aloud. Prayer, in many forms, is a way of letting your heart speak, without needing permission or proof. And sometimes the stars, especially the unexpected ones, give us the courage to speak like that again, quietly, privately, to ourselves, to the sky, to someone we miss, to the version of us we're trying to become. Even spiritual or symbolic thought has a home in the brain. Studies have shown that imagery-based symbols, especially celestial ones, activate areas of the brain linked to emotion regulation and self-awareness. In other words, when we metaphorically assign meaning to the stars, we are assisting our emotional systems. We are grounding abstract feeling in a visible, containable shape. That star wasn't your answer, but it gave shape to your question. That meteor wasn't the cure, but it offered a moment of catharsis, a sudden flare, an exhale, a letting go. Just like that emotion you guessed would last forever, and then didn't. Let's imagine now that your sense of self is a wide, dark canvas, and memory is like tiny streaks of light drawn across it, some slow, some fast, some repeating like constellations. Now imagine imagination stirring wind through that canvas, not erasing, but dancing with the old, lighting it from new angles, changing how it feels, even if not how it was. That too is what stars help us do. They support emotional reprocessing. They give us a distance from which to look at our own experiences, not through judgment, but through wonder. To say, I lived that, but I am not only that, and I can imagine more. Comets are in themselves literal time capsules. They carry ice and rock formed billions of years ago. When their bits break loose and fall through our skies, we are witnessing a message from before Earth had oceans. Perhaps it's not a reach to say that. Metaphorically too, they carry meaning from some deep place in our subconscious, some untapped archive of the soul. You never know what memory a meteor might unearth, or what desire, what resolution, what dream still waiting for its name. Let it rise, let your breath guide it. You don't need to analyze it, just feel it, briefly, like a star. Now, if your eyes are closed, imagine a streak of light, slow, golden, falling through quiet space. Let it carry something for you, a memory that still aches, a hope still unnamed, a version of yourself you are learning to love. Nothing needs solving right now. You're not here to fix anything. You're here to feel and to fall gently into rest. Comets don't burn for long. They are meant to visit, to illuminate, and then to disappear. So too are our thoughts tonight. Brief lights, consider them, bless them, let them pass. You don't need to keep them to keep what they meant. The invitation now is to sleep, to allow the symbols to dissolve into a soft, sacred nothing, not forgotten, but folded into peace, like stories once whispered over firelight, now becoming dreams. You are not alone under this sky. You never were. The comets of emotion and memory, of imagination and meaning, still pass through quietly, and you, soft star watcher, are allowed to rest in their light. Without chasing them, you are allowed to wonder, to weep, to hope, to smile as the vastness holds your heart, and as dreams begin to open their pages. Know this, the mind may not remember tomorrow exactly what you heard tonight, but it will remember how it felt. That something vast was speaking softly, and it was safe to listen. All things fall, not just things we break, or things that die, not just fragile things or forgotten things, but everything, even stars. And this is not a tragedy. This, dear listener, is gravity, a law so ancient and soft that we often forget to marvel at it. The quiet thread that holds galaxies together, pulls moons around planets, and slowly, gently, returns all moving things to something still. Tonight, as your body prepares for sleep, we'll reflect not on how to resist this falling, but how to trust it. We'll discover that gravity isn't a force to fear, but the most intimate form of guidance, that letting go into softness, into grief, into love, into slumber, isn't failure, it's physics. You are tired, perhaps in body, perhaps in heart, and your mind has carried so much today. This chapter, this soft descent together, is here to remind you that you don't have to hold it all, because even the stars do not stay suspended forever. Even their fire dims, even their breath softens into trails, even they are pulled home in time by light we cannot see, woven into a universe that's always been teaching us one truth: you are allowed to fall. Let's begin with the science of descent. In physics, gravity is simply the attraction between masses, a pull, an embrace, a calling. It doesn't shout, it doesn't command, it whispers, a subtle curve in space-time, drawing things toward each other, toward center, toward rest. And so when a meteor enters Earth's atmosphere, we say it falls, but perhaps it would be better to say it returns, not to destruction, but to transformation, not to an end, but a becoming. As the meteor yields to gravity, it touches air and becomes light, and you, too, tonight, can allow yourself to descend into stillness, without sharpness, to fall like the meteor, illumined only for a moment, but in the letting go, becoming something brighter. The nervous system understands this language too. All day, it works hard to hold us up, to carry, to track, to tense. Your sympathetic nervous system, the engine of action and alertness, has its rightful place. It's what helps us rise, focus, protect ourselves, press forward. But it's not meant to run all the time. Just as planets cannot forever resist gravity, your body is not built to constantly hold itself. Aloft, sleep like gravity, says, let go now, come home. The sacred counterbalance to effort is rest. And rest begins with permission. When your parasympathetic nervous system engages, sometimes called rest and digest mode, It invites the body to tumble softly into safety. The heart slows, the breath deepens. The muscles gradually loosen their long-held grips. This is not collapse. This is return. Scientists have observed that. Moments of emotional release. The deep sigh, the cry behind closed eyes, the exhale before sleep are often accompanied by vagal tone activation, the vagus nerve, the long winding river between brain and body, helping you navigate when it is finally safe to not fight gravity anymore. So if tonight your shoulders feel heavy, do not push them back. Let them lean into the earth. If your eyes ache behind their lids, do not force them open. Let them fall into darkness. If your thoughts keep reaching for definitions, for reasons, for stories to hold, let them fall briefly from your grasp. Not gone, just resting, like stars too heavy to stay still, finally wandering downward, into a new kind of light. This is what letting go truly means. Not giving up, not forgetting who you are, but allowing the mind to descend from the hilltop of effort into the valley of presence. Letting go doesn't erase you, it reveals you. The one who doesn't need to perform, the one who is already enough, already held, already here. Consider how children fall asleep, not by trying, but by trusting, by curling inward, by surrendering one layer at a time. A body too young to spell gravity already knows how to obey its lullaby. There is a quiet truth in the sky that you can borrow. Falling is just a part of orbit, a part of love, a part of life. Not everything upright is strong. Not everything still is weak. You are allowed to be drawn toward stillness as a tree bends in wind, as the tide rolls back home. And if tears come, or sighs, or memories you did not ask for, let them pass like meteors. In your inner sky, brief bursts of warmth, asking only to be seen, then fade. There's a neuroscience term for what happens when we gently detach from intrusive thought, decentering. It's when your mind stops fusing with a fear and starts observing it. This process is made stronger in states of mindful surrender, a soft blend of curiosity, safety, and non-attachment. When we imagine falling with purpose, not uncontrolled but allowed, decentering begins, and peace begins to cushion the descent. This is the neuroscience of surrender, not blackout, but arrival. A peaceful, non-struggling return to where rest lives. So now, may I use this moment to offer you permission to fall, to loosen your grip on what didn't work today, to stop holding the tension that was never yours alone, to feel yourself lightly descending into this pillow, into this breath, into this breathlessness like a star landing in a body that knew you were coming all along. Imagine this, you are drifting in space, surrounded by silence, no friction, no deadlines, no walls, and then you begin to move, slowly, gently, toward Earth, not crashing, gliding, carried not by force or fear, but gravity, the Earth welcoming you back, the ground becoming clearer, breath deepening. And as you near it, you realize this is the sleep you've been waiting for. Feel it catch you now, like a feather landing, or a candle-blown wish, finding its way to real flame. All things fall, all things come home, our thoughts drift, our dreams bend, our bodies return to the dirt they were born of, not to vanish, but to rest, to renew, to become again. Sleep is not the extinction of self, it is the restoration of self. Gravity is not the end of rising, it is the purpose of resting. Let everything that is heavy in you drop now without apology. Your chest can soften, your mind can wander, There is no test tonight, no role to play, no battle to fight. Only this soft closing of the day, this soft falling, not into failure, but into exactly where you're supposed to land. And as your body lowers into the rhythm of sleep, may you remember, falling is not a mistake. It is how the rain returns to earth, how stars melt back into the unseen, how hearts open when they stop resisting. You are not being undone, you are being returned. So fall, dear one, fall into peace, fall into sleep, fall into the arms of gravity, and know you are being held. And now, the stars have finished their stories for tonight. The sky has quieted, the embers fading into the hush between galaxies. You are safe here, right here, held by a universe that has watched over thousands of nights before this one. A mind touched by stars is a mind beginning to rest. Let your thoughts drift like meteors into softness. They do not need to land, they only need to pass. Let your breath become slower, slower still, like a signal to the stars that you are ready to sleep. Tonight, the science was never just about the sky. It was about the self. A self that is allowed to be small, allowed to let go, allowed to wander, allowed to sleep. No matter what today held, no matter what thoughts try to return. The night wraps around you now, like twilight velvet. Feel it. This is the gentle weight of awe, the slow heartbeat of space, the mirror of your breath returning to silence. You are stardust, falling into dreams, exactly where you are meant to be. Thank you for resting here. If this story helped you feel calm, held, or just a little more connected to the stars above and the stillness within, you don't have to say anything at all. But if you'd like to walk this slow road with us again, you're always welcome to subscribe or simply return whenever you need. Until next time, sleep gently, dream brightly, and remember, every falling star is just a beginning in disguise. Like the stars, you don't need to do anything to shine. But if our journey helped invite some stillness tonight, you can subscribe. Or simply return anytime you need rest or wonder. Sleep well, traveler between thought and sky,